A cheap European car creates the most dangerous illusion in the Australian used car market. You see a vehicle that originally costs $60,000 sitting next to a basic Japanese hatchback, both asking less than 15 grand. The European car gives you leather, impressive safety equipment, and a cabin that still feels expensive. But depreciation does not reduce the cost of specialized parts, complex diagnostics, or the damage caused by neglected maintenance. A cheap European car only becomes excellent value when you ignore the badge, understand the exact version you're looking at, and have enough money left to maintain it correctly. To be clear, none of the vehicles on this list will be as cheap to own as a basic Toyota Corolla or Mazda 3. The wrong version of a single model might hide a troublesome engine or a fragile dry clutch transmission, while a different version of that exact same car is incredibly robust. This diagram outlines the mandatory inputs for a smart buy. You absolutely need an independent brand specialist inspection, a complete diagnostic scan, and a verified fluid history before you even think about handing over cash. When you apply those strict filters, the engineering, practicality, and heavy depreciation justify the financial risk for 5 highly specific Australian market vehicles. Our number 5 pick is the first-generation Renault Koleos H45. It pairs French cabin design with Nissan X-Trail mechanical foundations. The scorecard highlights our required input, the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated petrol engine, completely avoiding complex diesel particulate filters and turbochargers. The continuously variable transmission is the main trade-off. A droning sound under hard acceleration is normal, but metallic bearing noise, vibration, or a delayed take-up are signs of imminent failure. You have to confirm the exact transmission fluid history. Even if a general workshop thought they were using an equivalent product, incorrect fluid can completely destroy a CVT. Start the engine cold, check for oil leaks and timing chain noise. Pay close attention to engine mounts. Severe deterioration creates vibration, feeling like transmission failure. For all-wheel drive examples, test the selectable driveline modes, look for leaks around the rear differential, and make sure the car is running 4 matching tires. Test every single electronic feature, from the keyless entry to the windows and water seals. Intermittent Renault electrical faults are notoriously expensive for a specialist to trace. The Koleos works perfectly for someone who wants comfortable family space at a low purchase price and has access to a Renault or Nissan specialist. Buy the petrol version only after a specialist confirms absolute CVT health and signs off on a complete fluid history. Number 4 is the first-generation Peugeot 508, an incredibly comfortable long-distance cruiser. The scorecard dictates for required input. The 2.0-liter HDI turbo diesel paired strictly with the conventional 6-speed automatic. Explicitly avoids smaller engines with the awkward roboticized manual. This powertrain demands regular highway kilometers to maintain the diesel particulate filter, or DPF. Repeated short urban trips will rapidly ruin this system. Verify the use of correct low-ash oil and ensure timing belt replacements align exactly with the manufacturer's age and kilometer requirements. You need a Peugeot specialist to scan the DPF loading and check injector correction values, and verify the status of the specific additive reservoir used in these PSA diesels. Physically inspect the turbo hoses for oil residue and check for EGR faults. Also, ensure the automatic transmission fluid has actually been changed, even though the manufacturer once called it a sealed unit. If you're looking at a wagon, inspect the rear suspension for heavy load wear, and always test all electrical accessories. A broken module will create disproportionate repair costs. The 508 is an exceptional touring car for a driver completing long commutes. But if you ignore diesel maintenance, look elsewhere. Number 3 evaluates the facelifted W204 Mercedes C-Class, delivering traditional solidity newer models lack. We are pinpointing one exact powertrain on this scorecard, the C250 CDI, utilizing the 2.1-liter OM651 turbo diesel and the 7G-tronic 7-speed automatic transmission. The mandatory cold start rule applies here. Listen closely for timing chain noise from the rear of the engine or any injector rattle. Either sound requires immediate specialist assessment. Check the engine bay for diesel leaks and coolant loss. Then review the DPF history to guarantee this wasn't a low-kilometer city car plagued by interrupted regenerations. The 7G Tronic automatic should shift without harshness, and you need proof the fluid was serviced. Inspect the engine and transmission mounts, as failed rubber will cause a heavy vibration when taking off. The W204 utilizes a complex front suspension to achieve its ride quality. Avoid cars fitted with enormous aftermarket wheels or lowered springs. Test the electronic steering lock, check the boot for water entry, and inspect the interior wear to ensure the car wasn't used as an airport limousine or a high-idle fleet vehicle. Reject any car with cold start timing noise, an incomplete transmission history, or evidence of repeated short-trip diesel use. Our number 2 pick proves engine codes dictate financial viability: the facelifted BMW F30 330i. The scorecard's specific input requires bypassing earlier N20 engines to secure the newer B48 2.0-liter turbocharged petrol, paired with the excellent ZF 8-speed automatic. You must exercise extreme vigilance regarding the B48's plastic cooling system components, including the housings, hoses, and expansion tank. Any history of overheating instantly kills the deal. On a cold start, check for irregular timing and oil filter housing leaks. Under acceleration, listen for smooth turbocharger boost without any drivetrain hesitation. The ZF automatic should shift almost imperceptibly during gentle driving. Ensure the fluid has been serviced according to independent specialist practice, rather than treating it as a lifetime fluid. A BMW-specific diagnostic scan is absolutely mandatory. Stored drivetrain, battery, or cooling faults can easily exist without triggering a permanent dashboard warning. Avoid modified examples completely. Aftermarket tunes and aggressive wheel offsets increase heat stress and invalidate any assumptions about how the car was maintained. The 330i is perfect for an enthusiast who can afford specialist maintenance. It is completely unsuitable for buyers who stretch their entire budget just to meet the asking price. Buy the B48-powered 330i, ignore vague listings that just say F30 Turbo, and retain a substantial maintenance reserve. Our number 1 pick on this final scorecard is the 3rd-generation Skoda Octavia RS, combining family space with proven Volkswagen Group mechanicals. Look for the exact NE Generation 162 TSI, utilizing the EA888 2.0-liter turbocharged petrol engine. Later versions feature different outputs. The 6-speed wet clutch DSG in this car is mechanically more robust than the dry clutch versions found in lower output models, provided the fluid replacement intervals are strictly met. Start the EA888 engine cold and listen for timing noise or misfires. You also need to strictly inspect the water pump and thermostat housing for coolant leaks. For manual transmissions, check for clutch and dual mass flywheel wear. Also inspect the front differential and engine mounts for gannage from hard launches. Have a Volkswagen specialist run a scan for misfire counts, boost control faults, PCV system health, and evidence of heavy carbon accumulation. Steer clear of modified RS models with lowered suspension or engine tunes. And if you're looking at a wagon with a panoramic roof, thoroughly check the drains and the spare wheel area for water ingress. This is the perfect fit for a driver who needs one practical family car but refuses to sacrifice performance, provided they utilize a dedicated Volkswagen Group specialist. Seek a standard 162 TSI with complete oil and DSG records, a dry interior, and absolutely zero cooling system uncertainty. The rules for buying a used European car are clear. First, begin with the specific engine code and transmission, never the badge. Second, demand actual invoices for exact fluids and specialist procedures. A stamped logbook isn't enough. Third, arrange a diagnostic scan using brand-specific equipment. Generic scanners miss critical fault codes. Next, start the car completely cold and drive it until it's fully up to temperature. Many transmission and timing faults only appear at specific heat levels. Take the time to inspect every single electrical component. A low purchase price on the vehicle does not make a replacement module cheap. Check the tires. Cheap rubber on a performance or luxury car is a massive red flag for maintenance corner cutting. And always complete a PPSR and VIN recall check to verify its history. Finally, secure insurance and parts quotes before leaving a deposit. Confirm a competent local specialist is nearby, and crucially, keep a dedicated repair reserve. The final buying rule is simple. Buy the exact powertrain and service history, not the original showroom price.